Hello Reformers, and welcome back to A Clash of Kings 3.0. Now, when we left off, we had just lost Grey Cliffs. I headed over there very quickly after our defense of Lorath as well, which was relatively drawn out, but we did manage to survive, amazingly enough, against all odds, because, well, they did actually kind of outnumber us, and also kind of outgeared us as well. They had some very strong units in their composition. But we managed to prevail, and I am now defending our nearby villages from some Froese vassals. So this guy right here, he's obviously, not particularly happy with us. I will not be able to make peace because he's not the Sea Lord, so yes, it's kind of pointless. Otherwise, yeah, we kind of have an overwhelming advantage, mainly because I have been recruiting a little bit, and I have also instigated some recruits from the actual town as well as Grey Cliffs itself, because I now have that back, and we're getting Stormlands units. I don't have any Stormlands units right now, but I did make a brief stopover as well to the Vale, as one of you actually was kind enough to remind me that the Vale actually have some really good archers, and I thought, yeah, it's probably a good idea to go for those, because we're not going to be able to sustain the amount of Raventree archers and Carhard Longbowmen that we have, unless we're able to get a critical mass of them. And we're going to try and get a critical mass of them as time goes on. I would very much like to get, I'd probably say about 150, maybe 200 of them, but obviously it's going to take a long time, and it's going to take a lot of travel time as well. That was the main reason why I thought the Vale might be the best place as well to recruit from, because, well, there's not actually that many spaces between our territory and theirs, and it would be kind of nice just to, have a pretty easy place to restock our volunteers and everything. So as you can see, we have some peasants here, and our Carhard Longbowmen, and Crossbowmen, and all that sort of thing. And now these guys actually should be pretty easy to kill, because as you can see, they don't seem to really have, they do have shields. Well, that's a bit of a shame, isn't it? That is a bit of a shame. Really? Did I really miss that? Are you serious? Come on now, Elias. You can do a little bit. There we go. You can do a little bit better than that. There's a little bit of damage. Not that much. Yeah, I don't really want my horse to get killed, so I'm just going to send my infantry in as much as possible. And I don't really care what happens to them because they're all peasants. Oh, yeah, there's callousness for you. Oh, yes. Okay, well, it doesn't really matter, does it? Doesn't really matter too much. Ooh, we took him out ourselves. Very nice. Oh, look at that. 106 damage with speed. Oh, very nice. Oh, we're doing some really nice damage, actually. I think it's mainly the horse that's making us able to do this. And, I mean, as you can see, even if the peasants get killed, by the way, even if they get killed, doesn't even really matter, because the village technically is kind of a virtual construct. I know that's kind of a bit weird to say, but in general, the village is going to have an unlimited amount of peasants. It doesn't matter how many of them die. If someone else decides to raid this village, the exact same amount of peasants are going to come back and defend it. So as you can see, there's just 26 there. It was pretty easy to defend, obviously. And he does manage to escape, which is even more unfortunate. But as you can see, Lorath is not doing too badly. We are actually in possession of 3 enemy vassals, which is rather nice. I'm awaiting ransoms for them as well, and I have a bunch of Vale units in my army. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be placing the Vale units in Lorath, because I have also hired a trainer, and the trainer will obviously be advancing a number of recruits here. Now, I think they are primarily focusing on the farmers right there, because the farmers, I think, are the highest up in the list that are recruits, quote-unquote. So, what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to remove the farmers and then put the Vale units in there, and hopefully they'll be able to level them up reasonably quickly, and then we'll see what happens from there. But what I would very much like to do is maybe launch an offensive against this fief right here. It's never going to happen, in my opinion, because it's going to be really well defended. Alright, so yeah, there has been a number of developments. One, Lorath has been besieged by Yeah, some Bravosi retaliators for our, I suppose, elimination of the vassal that was attempting to raid an innocent village. Yes, how terrible of them. Now, we also do have another Lolrath vassal here who is deciding to raid White Mist once again, so we're going to take these guys out relatively easily, but obviously then we need to rush back to Lolrath as soon as possible. Now, I did pass these guys on the sea, and I thought to myself, okay, I'm going to just gonna leave those guys alone for now, because I didn't know what they were really planning on doing. Didn't really want to engage them myself, because if I engage them on the ocean, then obviously it's gonna make a naval battle, and I'm not a big fan of the naval battle when you're outnumbered, because that means they have overwhelming amounts of infantry and they're able to get very, very close to your archers, and I don't really like that very much. So yeah, we're going to see how we do here instead, and then we're going to go rushing over to Lolrath and see what we can do about defending. But they didn't have that many. That was the main reason why I walked by them, and they didn't seem to take much notice of me, because there was, I think, about 150 of them total, maybe 200 maximum, so it was pretty cool to see that, really, because now that means at least Bravos is very, very on the weak side now, which is very, very strange, because usually they're pretty powerful, but apparently they're not doing very well with the amounts of wars that they're currently waging. So I wouldn't count us out just yet against them. And obviously I would count up my polearm skills. Haha, yeah. I've actually been doing okay with the polearms so far. It really just depends on the angle that I'm able to hit from. Because if I'm able to hit them from the angle that I like, which is very, very difficult, well, we'll see, actually. Let's just see if I'm able to kill this guy. Yep, there we go. I absolutely did that myself. My horse did not take care of him at all. Did you see 69 bonus damage, though? 69 bonus damage. How can you say no to 69 bonus damage? We can't. We can't say no to it. So we're going to be taking this guy prisoner, thank you very much. And everyone is increasing, but that doesn't really matter because we are in Essos, and Essos, war is life, basically. So Lolrath has been under siege here, and we do have another one of those princes from Lolrath over there as well. And there's Greycliffs. I swapped out a couple of our crossbowmen. So I put Elite Bravosi crossbowmen back in there, and I took out some Stormlanders longbowmen, because I would much prefer longbowmen over anything else. Oh, and it seems like this guy actually wants to fight. Weird. That's very weird. I don't know why he wants to fight, but okay. I guess it's because we're the only vassal that we have, and he probably just wants to add insult to injury and try and do his very best in that particular activity, which is not very welcome. No, I don't really welcome that too much. So let's see what we can do here. He is on the absolute opposite end of the battlefield, and what is he doing? He seems to be walking along in a very, very snail-like fashion. I should perhaps mention that they have now just crossed the river, and we have an absolutely amazing vantage point, as you can see here. Look at this. They have to come uphill. They are completely in the open. There are no trees, apart from, well, with this one exception here that can actually block arrows. And other than that, we have an entire army of archers, as you can see here. So I highly doubt that this Lolrath vassal, who is obviously known to not have any kind of shielded unit, is probably going to die very, very quickly indeed. Obviously, we don't have an overwhelming amount of Raventree archers or Carhold longbowmen any further. They are pretty good still, because I have about 25 or so of them. But other than that, you know, I just have some standard units. So yeah, this is going to be pretty interesting. I'm actually going to try and use my horse just to charge into people, because it seems like it does more damage than my actual attack, which is very strange. I'm actually unsure why that is. I think it's if I charge into them from behind, then it does a little bit of bonus damage. I think that's the case. I'm actually unsure. Well, I'm going to try it out here, actually. Let's see if that works. Or not. Apparently that's not going to work this time around. Maybe this will work? No, okay. Apparently there's some weird angle that you have to charge from to get bonus damage. I'm actually unsure. Maybe it's probably behind, but as you can see, none of the enemies could reach... yes? Yeah? Okay, I actually thought there was actually someone there almost reaching us, but no. No, it seems not. So, yeah, this is just an absolute slaughter. But that's exactly what we want to see, isn't it? I mean, that's exactly what we want to see, considering we have an utter archer army. You know, we don't want to have anyone closing the distance. And yeah, I'm absolutely failing with my polearm right now, but there we go. Maybe I can take this guy out, or maybe I can just try and lure him back here so our archers can actually kill him. I'm going to move my archers a little bit closer as well, because I don't really think we need to really worry about 14 units reaching us, to be honest. And they do have a lot of arrows still remaining, I hope. We're dealing a lot of damage, though, with our polearm. When we actually hit, it deals a lot of damage. Oh, they seem to be taking a very bad path. I thought they would actually just move forward in a line, but apparently it's not. Okay, so did you see that? We charged him from the front. He actually did get... Maybe it's... I think it might be just a speed threshold or something like that. Maybe I have to be very, very fast to be able to gain any damage from that. We did some damage to that crossbowman, but obviously not killing him. Maybe we can just kill that. There we go. Alright, so... Yeah, I think we're good. There you go. That was very easy, considering they didn't even reach us, and hopefully we'll be able to take him prisoner. Yes, we are. Thank you very much. Okay, so that is nice. Maybe we'll be able to get some sort of peace agreement with some of them, or maybe a truce or something like that. That would be kind of nice. But yeah, I'm highly doubting it, to be honest. So yeah, now, as you can see, we've actually leveled up 6 times, mostly from that defense, and mostly just from these fights that we've been doing as well. So, what am I going to do here? Well, I'd very much like to improve our agility so that I can actually get some Weapon Master, because this proficiency right here is just going to go to waste on other things. I mean, I might use a crossbow, okay? I might use a crossbow, so let's just go for 20 strength and 15 agility, and then we're just going to improve our power strike, iron flesh, and we have 3 points remaining. I might as well get some athletics, and I'm not going to be getting a crossbow that can be used on a horse. I'm going to be getting a really, really powerful one, so hopefully that's going to make a big difference. Should I get some tactics skill? Tactics skill might actually come in handy. I'm thinking trainer, however, because trainer is definitely going to help us to level up, but then again, we do have trainers in our fiefs, so it's kind of not really worth it. So, yeah, I'm still kind of thinking about medicinal skills as well. Okay, fine, trainer. Let's go for trainer. And then we'll go for... I don't even see that... Yeah, there's not really any necessity to go for more polearm skills. So let's just level up our crossbows. This is going to take a while. Alright, so there you go. I now have 195 crossbow proficiency. Crossbow, I almost said, which is usually what I say whenever I talk about crossbows for some reason, but... Yeah, okay, so as you can see, they actually don't even have that much. They do have the Liege of Bravos there, which is a big problem. And the Bravosi Guardsmen. I don't know whether we've seen those in action before, but if we haven't, then this might be a bit of a difficulty. Oh my. Let's see what we can do, shall we? I think we might be okay. I mean, we have a huge amount of archers and things, but I don't know whether that's really going to save us. So let's just rest, I guess. That's all we can really do. Okay, so as you can see here, we have just received our weekly budget. And I'm really, really happy to report that we're actually getting some really nice gains from all of our villages right now. The only thing that I'm kind of sad about is the fact that, obviously, we are probably going to be losing these gains sooner rather than later, because I can't possibly defend all of these villages by myself. So, yeah, that's a bit of a shame, isn't it? But we are gaining 2,300 right there, and that goes into our funds, which is actually pretty good. And yeah, apparently Lorath has now reduced in prosperity down to very poor. Well, not entirely surprising, because it is consistently being sieged, so that's not very nice. And there you go. So they've gone in 331 against 600? No, 469. Well, we've done a similar thing before. I'm a little bit worried about this, but I think we should be fine. Our battle advantage is only -1, so in theory we should be perfectly fine, right? Well, that's the thing, we have mostly peasants, and the reason for that is obviously because we want to dissuade any AI lord from attacking us, but obviously that has not helped us in the least right now. So... yeah, that's That's not great, is it? That's not great at all. So yeah, actually a couple of you did suggest that I should use the nearby soldiers command to micromanage our archers. And yeah, that's absolutely fine. That's a great suggestion, but I am just really annoyed with micromanagement in Mount & Blade for some reason, because it's not easy to do. You know, it's not easy to do, and it's kind of annoying to do that. So I don't know whether I'm going to be doing it really. Should I just go up there real quick right now and just do that immediately? Because I don't really want to do that when they are here, when the enemies are here, because that is obviously going to mean that we have some huge problems. So let's just use the nearby soldier command here. And let's get a bunch of them down here, firing away in the small gaps. I think that would actually be a little bit more useful than them just standing and running against the wall or things like that. Don't you think? I don't know. I mean, it might be useful. Or should I just get them over there? It might be easier if they actually come over here, but it's going to be impossible to get them through. So it's either I get them over here. Yeah, I think it might be quite nice to get them over here. So let's put them there. There we go. And then I'm going to make a bit of a space for them by commanding these guys, which is going to be pretty annoying in itself. Okay. Okay, are you gonna actually obey what I'm doing right here? I'm sure some of them are actually gonna be the actual archers that I wanted them to get through, so yeah, I'm pretty sure that's gonna be the case. Are they actually okay there? Yeah, I think some of them were actually the archers that I was trying to command. But this is the Sea Lord, I think. Isn't this the Sea... No, that is Adario Frega. He is actually very, very powerful, as you can see. Okay, well, come on now. Well, everyone seems to be doing a great job so far. I'm actually very pleased. I'm kind of surprised at the same time, though. Okay, so the Armored Bravos units, they are not particularly... They're not too good. They're not too good, so I think we're fine. I think we're okay. Still need to get that blunt weapon, by the way. I obviously don't have very much money right now, so me getting a blunt weapon is obviously kind of impossible right now because I don't have any money to buy it. But once I do, that should be really nice. Okay, I'm going to tell the nearby soldiers to charge in now because we kind of need the bodies. We do need the bodies in here, and this is the one downside with having an archer-only army. And that is, of course, that anyone with pretty suitable heavy infantry is going to be able to very easily slaughter most of you. So let's just hope that I will be able to eliminate most of the high-tier units reasonably quickly. And this is where my polearm actually comes into its own as well, yet again. But, again, I'm not going to be really showing that much of this particular siege, because we've all seen it. You know, we've all seen it before in the previous episode. If you haven't seen the previous episode, I highly recommend it. It was very, very intense. This one doesn't seem as intense. I'm not entirely sure why. I think it might be because our archers are doing a little bit of a better job this time. It could be the Bravos units are being a little bit more, well, a little bit simpler to kill, I guess. That might actually be the case. As you can see, they seem to be dying a little bit easier than the Norvoshi Axemen, but they have killed how many of us? Not that many in comparison to how many they've lost, but they are obviously still on the walls here, so they still have enough time to kill quite a few of us, which is pretty bad. But they have... Oh yes, they are using very, very bad tactics. Oh, there's another level, thank you very much. But yeah, they're using pretty bad tactics as we see it, because as you can see, they're not really getting into my own personal space. They're just allowing me to use the glaive's range to deal significant damage, so yeah. I think this is probably one of those sieges that is going to take a long time, but isn't actually that challenging. So I think what I might do is just end this episode off here. I don't really see the necessity to go through this again, and I'm sure many of you would much prefer to skip it, because we have seen it, as I say. We have seen it before, and I think this is going to be a foregone conclusion. I will, of course, tell you whether we succeeded or not. But, yes, this seems relatively easy as it is. We do outnumber them, actually. We outnumber them pretty heavily, as you can see. They only have 42, and we have, well, 86 on the battlefield, which is kind of a bit weird. I'm not entirely sure why we have such an advantage, but never mind. I thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.